Okay, I'm going to show you the things that I think I would have written on my periodic table in my planner, just for reference. Okay, so probably the first thing I would do is I would probably shade in the division between the metals and the non-metals. So I'd probably get a highlighter or something and I'd shade in these. And then I would label these the metalloids. They're the in-betweeners between the metals and the non-metals. So then, now that I know where the metalloids are, I would probably draw an arrow like this, and I would say metallic. And then I would draw an arrow like this, and maybe I wouldn't draw it like that. Maybe I would put it out here, because that might get kind of crowded. And I'd do non-metallic. Something else I would add, I would put in the groups and the periods. I would label them, and rather than waste time in the video watching me struggle to count them out, I'm just going to put them on. I'll be right back. So there are my periods and groups. So the periods are the sideways rows, and the groups are the up and down columns. These are all G's right here, like G1, G2. People have been telling me for years that my G's look like arrows, and I admit it, they do. I guess I can't make G's, but it is what it is. Something else I would do, I would probably highlight this column right here, and I would label it the noble gases. That's group 18 right there. And I would probably write mostly, maybe not entirely, but mostly unreactive. And I'm going to put a 0 here just to remind me that they don't really want to do anything. Oh, what else would I do? I would noble gases. Okay, so let's do this. This one right here, group 1, I would say these guys want to go from 0 to +1. So that's a little arrow there. So 0 to +1. These guys want to go from 0 to +2. And we don't worry about this big batch right here in this class. I would go over here to group 17, and I would write these guys want to go from 0 to -1. And then I'd come over to group 16, and they want to go from 0 to -2, 0 to -3. And we don't talk a lot about carbon in this class. And then right here, where you've got boron and aluminum, that's going to be 0 to +3. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw an arrow at that, and I'm going to write lose 1 electron, become +1 ion. I guess maybe I'll put a box around that or something. Yeah. Okay. And then this one right here, lose 2 electrons. And then over here with these negative guys, just to remind me, it's like right here is fluorine. I'd write gain 1 electron, become -1 ion. Let me put a box around that as best I can. Good enough. And so just in case someone forgets, underneath my metallic here, I'm going to write lose electrons. And over here by non-metallic, I'm going to write gain electrons. I guess that might be bad because you might think that right here the metalloids are involved with that, but they're not, because they're pretty much, not entirely, but pretty much unreactive. Okay, so let's see, what else would I have on my periodic table planner? Oh, okay, one thing I would add would be the diatomics. Diatomics, or how about diatomic elements? Yeah, I like that. And diatomic elements, that means 2 atoms bond together. So for example, one diatomic element is hydrogen right here. And what does that mean? Hydrogen is H2. In other words, if you could see a molecule of hydrogen, you would see an atom bonded to another atom. Not very often do you find solo hydrogen atoms. They prefer to be bonded together with another hydrogen atom. So there are 7 of these: hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So those 7 I would probably shade in on my planner. And just remember, those are the diatomics. You can even put a list right here of them if you wanted to. I would not consider that cheating. One other thing I would add, since we've got the diatomics on here, I added a couple more for phosphorus and sulfur. If you find phosphorus in nature, one way that you can find it's bonded together in groups of 4. So I'd stick a little sub 4 right here. And then sulfur likes to get together in groups of 8 atoms. So I'd stick a little 8 right there. So that's something that could be on a possible quiz. Just looking at this, nonmetallic gain electrons, and then I'm gonna write this. Except these. So the noble gases do not like to gain electrons. I think that's pretty good. So if I had my periodic table planner dressed up with all these little tidbits here, I think that would help me a lot on many different quizzes. Let me emphasize once again, the stuff that you see that I've written on here, I do not consider that to be cheating. If you went way beyond this content and started writing like little notes, very specific things, then we might be getting into treacherous territory. But if you have this kind of stuff written in your planner, I'm probably not going to complain. So there you go.